Hi, I'm going to explain about a 2-minute summary of Libby Green's book, English with an Accent, and this is going to be a summary of Chapter 1. To start, she begins by saying that she describes how children have an innate ability to acquire language, and I thought that was interesting, saying that when we are born, we are naturally capable of acquiring a language and using it, and that everybody develops about the same, no matter where they live. She also describes something, or talking about linguists versus perspectivists. So what linguists do is they use an analytic approach when it comes to language, and they look at the grammatical sense of the language, compared to perspectivists who exert authority over the language, and they tend to look at it as being very socially constructed. All spoken language changes over time. I also thought that was interesting, and especially it changes because of location too, and availability of using the language. So languages are equal in a linguist's eyes. So all language and all forms of language are equal to linguistics, and they don't prefer one over the other. What we do is we change and adapt due to the necessity. So somebody who's living in a cold environment might have, several words for snow, while somebody living in a desert area might not even need that word. There's a strict grammatical use is not always effective in communication. So they had a few examples. She had a few examples in her book talking about kind of making fun of the sense that we could use a really grammatically structured sentence, but it wouldn't make any sense in trying to convey a message. So sometimes it's best to use the non-grammatical wording, because sometimes it makes more sense when we're trying to communicate. She also highlighted on something, linguist versus layperson. So like I explained before, a linguist thinks that all languages are equal, but a layperson, they want language to be socially acceptable in context, and they look at how you use the language rather than what it's made up of. And if it's not grammatical, it can still be understood. That's what I said earlier in regards to communication. And then she also mentioned that spoken language is universal and acquired by all humans, but written language is not. And that's one of the biggest things, where written language is a lot harder to acquire, and it requires a lot of extra work and dedication to learning that. But however, it is useful for documentation. So those are just some main points that were in her first chapter of the book, and I thought it was really interesting and I enjoyed it. Thanks.